Myleene, congratulations on your MBE.
Yes.
Oh, wow.
Well done.
That was... It took me 6 months to get a cup. Look at that.
I love it. Honestly, I'm blown away.
How was it? How do you feel? How did it happen?
It does feel really special, actually, because the reason I've got my MBE... said it the first time. It's for my services to miscarriage and the work that I've been doing with Tommies. So it feels really important, but because it is that subject matter, all that work usually just understandably feels really sad and it's very heavy. But this just can show my children, you know, who were with me when we opened the letter, that actually there is light and I can use this for good, because the King has to sign it off, the Prime Minister has to sign it off. So it's getting in front of the right people already, which is amazing.
And hopefully bolsters you a little bit as well, Myleene, to move forward with the movement.
It makes me so determined. It makes me so determined because all the plans that I've got for where miscarriage care should be going, it's something that we just have for so long as women just put up with. It's just one of those things. It's not one of those things. We can do so much about it. We need data collection. We're going to work on that. Also, more education for girls and boys as to looking after their own fertility. So there's just so much that can be done, and this just shows you actually all the right people are now paying attention. And so now that I've got their ear, if you like, this is the beginning, this isn't the end.
And as you say, it came with a very sort of fancy letter, doesn't it?
A letter.
It's not just any old letter.
Well, frame it.
I'm going to frame the letter because I've had to keep it a secret for so long. The postman went to my neighbour's house the first time we weren't there, and he saw the insignia, you know, on the front. So he knew something special was coming. So the neighbours were whispering. So when it finally came to my house, the kids were with me. We opened the letter. Everyone was really excited. But my son now thinks that every time the postman comes, it's a letter from the King or the Queen. But it's weird because it turns out it is. We came back from holiday and there was another letter, and this time it was from Queen Camilla saying congratulations. So he just thinks that the King and the Queen keep writing to us, which is very nice. But we're all so excited. Everyone's picking out fascinators.
And when is it? How long now till
I don't know. I'm waiting for the next letter.
Right.
So there will be another one, exactly.
Yeah, but it's lovely that they can see that actually, you know, because my children have lived through all of this. They can see that change can happen, but you have to make it happen. And I like the idea that they can see that you don't pull the ladder up behind you as well. That, you know, that their mum is continuing to call for change, because it could affect them. God forbid it does. It doesn't. But if it does, they'll know that the path has been paved because
and hopefully
of all
we're in a
the
different place, because
there
are so many things that need to change, though, Myleene. A lot of it's education as well, amongst us women, but also amongst boys and young men. And this comes from school age, really, I think.
Think about the PSHE lessons that they have. That, you know, you learn about reproduction, but you don't learn about what happens if it goes wrong. And I didn't learn until way down the line when I was experiencing it that actually male fertility is a key part of this. You know, not having hot baths, alcohol, riding bikes, being a lorry driver. These play a huge part in the male side of fertility. For women, you don't have any control, but there's so much blame. People will say to you, you know, maybe you shouldn't have lifted that heavy box, or what did you eat, what did you drink, what were you doing? It's not their fault, and for a long time I blamed myself. But then I've found out working with Tommies, there's over 13 kinds of miscarriages you can have, and I had 4 of them. A missed miscarriage, my friend had an ectopic, which you can either die from or you can die from. There has to be more education in this field, and we just haven't had enough of a spotlight on it because it's been one of those things that women have learnt just to put up with.
Well, I think for years it's because I know when I was younger as well, and I had a miscarriage after Jake, but I also had a threatened miscarriage. That's the word
another
for it,
kind of miscarriage,
a threatened miscarriage when I was pregnant with Shane. And basically I was told there's nothing we can do, go home, lie on your couch 24 hours, don't move. And what will be, will be. But also, I think, you know, women are always told, well, it's nature's way, it wasn't meant to be. But actually what you're saying is that's not necessarily true. I mean, I'm sure sometimes it's true.
There are many times, you know, I lost 4.
Right.
There was nothing I could have done, and it was reassuring to hear that. There were 3 different trisomies, which are genetic discrepancies that they tested for. So that actually weirdly gave me relief, because you feel like, God, am I the worst mother? Could I have done something different? But with my son, they gave me progesterone, which they found out was something that I definitely needed. And we've found out with Tommies that 8,500 1,000 babies can be saved every year with progesterone, but GPs just haven't, through no fault of their own, been given the specialist treatment to be able to administer it to women.
Yeah.
So
and it'll all come down to cost again.
it comes down to cost, but also we need one chain. We need one chain of command. So when something goes wrong, you go to the information and say, right, one miscarriage. This woman needs this kind of help. Oh, her age is 35. She needs a different kind of help. You can't treat. You know, you wouldn't treat 4 of us the same way, so you can't treat every other woman the same way. And also, 3 consecutive miscarriages. In England, you have to wait for 3. In America, you have to wait for 2. Well, you wouldn't wait for 2 heart attacks, and nor should you. So for a long time, we've put up with it, and we're not going to do it any longer.
But I had...
By order of the king.
I had 2 pregnancies with no problem. Then I got pregnant for the 3rd time and something didn't feel right from the very beginning. And I rang and asked could I come in and have an MRI or a scan to see if everything was OK. And they said, yeah, come in. And I went along with my son, Louis, at the time. He was only quite small. And they were scanning me. And then all of a sudden she said, I'm just going to go and call somebody. I'm just going to go and call a doctor. Straight away, I knew something was wrong. Anyway, they came back and they said that the baby had died inside me. They sent me home with the dead baby inside me, and then I had to go back the next day, and then they gave me a suction to remove and it would have been a little girl, but they said she had an extra chromosome, so she wouldn't have survived anyway. But me and my husband kept saying, what have we done? What have we done wrong? Did we had sex? Could that have affected it?
Yeah.
You know, have we been picking heavy things up, all different things like that? But it just wasn't meant to be, I suppose, that day. But it was very, very sad.
But psychologically, you carry that with you every single day.
You do, yeah, because I still think now, you know, like she'd be in between Louis and Bobby.
Yeah.
But then if I had had that baby, maybe I wouldn't have had my daughter Bobby. So.
Yeah, that's why I was...
Yeah.
And that happens for a lot of people, I think. If you go through a miscarriage and then you are lucky enough to get pregnant after that, you spend the whole 9 months worrying
about
that it's going to
yeah.
happen again. There's so many elements to it, isn't there? And like you say, there's just the education, the financing. I was told by one doctor, I remember when I was pregnant with my little girl, that obviously we're underfunded when it comes to women's health, full stop.
Yeah.
But more money goes into trying to make the Viagra pill a better version of what it is than goes into women's health.
Well,
like that in itself is
right
extraordinary when it comes to when we're talking about something that's so important. This is life. This is life. It's an incredible thing, Myleene. And so your work has been amazing. And it's like you say, to hear all of these very big names, including the King, saying the word miscarriage and knowing that it's something that you're working on and that we're dealing with, it's fantastic.
Yeah,
and
well
we're all very, very
cry.
proud of you. No, I mean it.
Happy to.
Brilliant. It's absolutely brilliant.
Thank you.
Very well deserved.